Got a really good episode for you guys this week. We're going to talk about car parts, Bratz dolls. What else are we going to talk about, Carl?
I'm going to talk about the great Bolo you gave that made me money this week, and the great guest I had at the booth.
And lots more.
So let's get into it.
Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
How's it going, Carl?
Good. We are on episode number, saying it anytime now, 60. Oh, this one isn't labeled, so I don't know.
62.
62.
It is 60. It is labeled.
Is it? Excellent. Anyways, great start. Oh, you're already screwing up, but that's okay.
62 buck of my shoe.
Wow, you got to come up with something every week now. Now it's a thing, right? You can't just let it go. It's like I made the mistake of, like, for my wife when she goes in the office, I make her breakfast, I get her coffee, and then I made the mistake of, like, warming up her car, brushing off the snow, and now it's something I have to get up and do. So you should never do something.
See, that I'll have to do that here. What are you doing, Carl?
You should always try to disappoint your partner if you
can. yeah. Well. No. So, how's the week? Everything good?
Yeah. It's been good. We'll get right into it. So, I got the double booth now, and it was actually open this weekend, so that was good.
Oh, snow day.
Yeah, because last time Sunday was a snow day, so everyone was anxious, I think, to get back there. One poor soul showed up, but in our defense, it was possible to get a hold of them. No telephone or anything. So, but no, it was good. It was busy. There were a lot of people there.
Oh, good. Do you think because they missed the week before type thing, or what? I think
both. I think it was, and also the weather was fine. Like, there's no problems getting there. And yeah, I think it was the week before.
Yeah.
I spent a couple of hours putting together my desk, my L desk, and at first I was like, "Oh no, this is kind of big and awkward." But then it's like, as I got into it, it's like, no, actually, this is great. This was a great decision. I have somewhere to sit. It's obvious that I'm the booth owner there. I have somewhere I can easily do work at, clean objects or just price objects or whatever. So, yeah, it takes up, some room, but no, it's good. I'm happy with it. So I set that up. Sales were good, over $200, which is good for me. Now the booth is doubled, so really, it's like $100 of the old days, but it's fine. I like being active. I sold a typewriter. That was good. For $50. It was a cheaper one, but it was good to get rid of that. And the best thing is, I talked to my normal friends there, which is good. But I met a new person, Susan, and she bought some just generic, those little glass candies you can get. But anyways, my point being that she said she's an appraiser, and she works for the auction companies.
Oh,
or she used to. So that's kind of cool.
You're when you say candies, you're talking about like the what's Murano glass?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Exactly. Yeah. Nothing special about modern pieces. Really wasn't about that. It was about the fact that she was an appraiser. So I talked to her for a while. In fact, I said, okay, I'll let you go because I'm going to talk your ear off. But it was interesting hearing her perspective. And, she, like I said, she used to work for the auction companies, and now she does it, individually. And yeah, we talked about all that stuff. It was good to hear. Like she said, I think she charges $100 an hour for that, which seemed cheap to me, to be honest, for that kind of work.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, like, does she go into a state and do a lot of things?
Yes, she's going into states. So she says she's often working like 6 to 8 hours. So it's not like you're going in just doing a few things. So, but it was.
You have to be very confident in your knowledge, because I think to make it worth it, you can't be looking up everything.
No,
but the things can change so quickly. You don't want to misappraise things too, right? So
that's what I said to her. I said that's something I would think would be great to be able to do, but You have to be one detail oriented.
Yeah.
And have a great memory.
And could you be held liable should you make a major mistake? Like if you appraise a Maud Lewis at 15 grand and someone takes it and sells it for 300,000, like, is she liable for that? That would be my concern.
Yeah, I have no idea. We didn't talk about we didn't talk about that, but we did talk about, going through estates. She doesn't really buy them. She just kind of she said she usually doesn't because it's kind of like you can't really praise and buy.
You can't. And I know there's appraisers, but I just wonder there's got to be a loophole there to protect yourself from something like that happening, right?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we talked about art and we talked about how people have these collections that they're attached to and have no value and how to say that nicely. Like how to say, your clear glass is worth like nothing. But no, it's cool. We even talked about ghosts. She brought up ghosts, which was awesome because that's right up my wheelhouse of interest too. So no, it was just fun meeting someone in the business too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And there's no reason for her to bring this up, but it just happened in the conversation. And that's when, like I said, that's one of the reasons I'm there is for the conversations.
It's interesting though. Like I really find that appraisal thing interesting. Like $100 an hour to me is it can be cheap in some regards because they're paying for your knowledge, right? But there's an element of kind of like if I was to be afraid of something, that would be what I'm afraid of. You know what I mean? Like misguiding somebody on something.
Well, that's what I was saying too. Yeah.
Like or missing something. Like if it's a group of 7 painting and it's a little bit different and you don't recognize it as that, or you know what I mean? Like I'm
we didn't go into the details of that. Like I'm sure if you saw something,
no, I don't mean just with her, but I mean anyone in general that's an appraiser. Just
we miss things all the time.
For sure. That's what I would suspect.
Right? Like I said, that's one of my fears for that private pick is I don't want to mislead people when I'm saying here's what I'm offering if there's like that $1,000 unknown thing in there. And
Why?
and well, yeah, because you're not giving your appraisal, but you're trying to be honest is my main.
Wow. I mean, what's honesty? Like you're I'm not telling them what everything is. I'm just saying, what do you want? These are the things I'm interested. What do you want for this? Right?
Yeah, but you know what comes back is how much is it worth?
Well, it can, and just say, well, and this is the honest truth. Like when I went, I'll give an example. I went and bought those books. I had no clue what was in there. I'm taking a bit of a gamble. I mean, it's $500. There's roughly 1,000 books. Am I going to find 50 of them that I can sell for $10? Yeah, for sure. So I'm not really taking a gamble. But do I know there was one in there for $350? Not
no, and that's fine. Like I'm not.
So I kind of generalize that with everything. Like I don't know what these are worth, but I find them appealing to me, or I do know people are interested in like military and pilots. So if you got like an RCAF pilot suit, I don't know what it's worth, but I know someone would be interested in it. You know what I mean? So if the price is right off the bat, I don't need to look it up. But if you're asking $300 for it, well, I got to go look it up and see if I can get $1,000 for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But if you're asking $100 for it, boom, I'll take that all day long because I know I'm going to get at least $100 for it. So there's no real gamble there. You know?
Yeah, there's a huge difference too between if you know something's worth 1,000 and you offer them $10.
Well, then don't offer them. Let them come up with the number.
Right.
This is my goal. This is my thing. Sometimes it's good for them to come up with the number. Like
that's always to me the best scenario is when they come up with the number. Yeah. I know we've talked about this before. Where it depends on the situation, but
if there's a brand new VCR in a box, and it's worth $400 to $700, right? Depending on the brand and all this other kind of stuff, right? And I said, how much you want for your VCR?
I don't know. How much do you think it's worth?
Well, it's a VCR. What are you asking for, right?
I don't
So
know.
you take $30, $30 for
Oh,
the
so
VCR,
if it's $1,000 and you offer $30,
but I don't know what it's worth. I
I
haven't
thought you
looked it
just
up.
said you did.
I don't even know. There might not be a real VCR in there. You might have retaped it. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm just at, first of all, but I'm gonna get them to give me a number. You know what I mean? And if she says I don't know, well let's put it in a pile and we'll come up with a number at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna find out next week.
Oh, buddy, are you serious?
Yeah, next Thursday.
You got to wear a hidden camera. You got to.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be great, eh? Can you just look? Can you say that again? I just gotta get my chest a little closer to you.
But well, that's congratulations, bud.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
looking forward to
great.
hearing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But don't like. I think she's already gonna ask that question because you kind of had that conversation. So she's asking you what you're interested in stuff. Get things in a pile. Let her come up with a number, and then go down on it or accept it. But do not, please. And I can edit this out. I don't care because I don't want to be like
You
telling you.
say that, but so you say you're gonna edit out stuff, and then I hear it in the podcast, so I don't
But
trust
I said
you.
I would edit it out. I know what part you're talking about last week, and you said it's up to you. I'll let you deal with it. That's what you said. That if you listen to it in the podcast, it's near the end. I know. You said I'll leave that up to you. Anyway, it's just I don't know. I don't want to sit here and tell you what to do. I'm just saying I want you to succeed with this one. This is your first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just chill and make sure you get a low number. Like, you know what I mean? Don't worry about things. It's you're doing her the favor. You really truly are. Like, put it this way. My buddy Adam calls me up and he's got a gig where they have a house, a trailer, and a barn full of stuff. And they messaged him 3 weeks and he didn't check his email because he broke his leg and he hasn't been on his email. And he sees this message. They want him to come and pick some stuff before they throw it out. So he saw the message. He called me. He goes, "Do you want this pick?" I said, "Absolutely." Right? He hasn't got back to me yet. It's been about 3 days. So I guess that would have been Friday, maybe. So over the weekend. So we'll see what happens. I'll give him a call today. But they're like saying there's some good stuff here. They're paying a company to come and take this away because they don't know what to do with it. And Adam hasn't responded. So now they're just stuck with it. I could come and say, I'll take it away for free. You know, I can't handle a barn, a trailer, and a house, but
Well, not if you want to remain married. Yeah.
give me the basement at least, you know? But yeah, I'm just thinking like that's a gold mine and they don't care. It's all about the property. It's about clearing their mind
Yeah.
through all this
Actually,
stuff.
that's funny. I talked to her, Susan, about that as well, saying like, yeah, a lot of places they just want to get rid of stuff because
They just want it gone. They don't care.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to pay a company to come and take away. Who knows? I mean, if you got a barn, a house, and a trailer, there could be $100,000, $200,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, 1,000 things worth $100, $100,000. You know, and this company's going to charge them to take this stuff away. It's insane. But so you're doing them a favor, honestly. Keep it low.
Yeah.
You
We'll
know,
find out.
all your rebuttal is, you know what? I do this to make a couple of bucks. You know, that's it. That's all it is. I do this to make a couple of bucks. So I got to kind of count my time and everything else. Not everything's going to sell. They do take a commission or I pay rent, blah, blah, blah. You know, you know the drill, bud. I want to hear, oh my God, this is the best experience of my life. You know?
Well, we'll find out. I'll report back in 2 weeks. So
All right.
I guess 3 weeks.
Well, step one is done. So that's good.
So how's your week?
Dude, my week was amazing. My week was absolutely banger. So I couldn't believe how well the booth had done Saturday and Sunday. Over $500 each day. Might have been $600 or something at the end of the day on Saturday, and definitely over $500 on the Sunday as well. Um, Today somebody came in, bought a bunch of toy soldiers, so I'm already over $100 just at the booth. We're closed Monday, Tuesday. Um, so they're buying books for $30. Those are the motor ones, the auto ones, but they're from the 40s and 50s, right? They're older manuals. Um, VHS, I sold one for $30 and one for $25 and a couple for 10 and probably another half a dozen for 5. Those are VHS tapes. You know what
All
I mean?
horror. Yeah.
Pretty much. There might be the few kind of odd thriller ones from the 70s with some really neat folk art, some really neat cover art on there. Um, but they're like, it doesn't tell me. It just says VHS tape and how much it sold for. It doesn't tell me which one sold because I
Oh,
just, you know what I mean. That's what it goes in the system as. But I don't know what was going on the weekend, but they were buying things that had sat in my booth for a long time. Like I had this cast iron out of a barn. It was a twine spinning wheel. I think I had $30 on it, and it was getting ready to go. You know what I mean? It was going to go to scrapyard because it sat
yeah.
there, right. Button of matchbooks for $35, like a jar of books. Um, you ever sell matches?
It's one of the things though I might be picking up actually from that house. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't give them a whole lot on them, but they do pick them up for advertisements. But I had a jar. It's I couldn't even tell you the size because I'm not big on my sizes, but um let's say your average Dale pickle jar.
Right.
Let's say it's one of the ones that are like twice that size, like your average size, they'll just double it in size. Like it was kind of a fairly big one. I just threw a bunch of matchbooks in there, filled it right up, put $35 on it. So people will buy those. That's probably cheap to be honest with you, because some of them can go for $5 to $10 a piece. But I don't know them. They're like stamps. I just kind of put them in a jar and see what happens. Um, but yeah, just a lot of stuff went. Like I could go on for on and on. I actually had a pretty good time on eBay too. Uh, Remember those fashion prints?
Yes.
They're actually original watercolors. So someone bought two of those. Another VHS wrestling tape, $45 on that. Lots of toy soldiers. Um, Lots of toy soldiers. I sold one for 247.46. That's after a 15% discount on a $275 asking price. I sold that horse, that Indian on the horse.
Yeah, right away.
Oh my god, that was
Within
gone
an
in a
hour.
day.
Yeah, we talked like that. That was funny. I was talking to someone else. Oh, I met a toy guy too on the weekend.
Oh, did you?
And so I asked him about the blimp you sold.
Oh, yeah,
Um and he said he didn't he doesn't know that one either. He
yeah,
says, yeah, you probably undersold it,
yeah.
but he wasn't like that was worth thousands of dollars or
Right,
anything.
right.
He just said he's never seen that either. And
Yeah.
he's a toy guy. So
So
um
maybe 50-60 bucks is what it's worth. So,
who knows? But yeah,
right.
it was just
But
funny.
yeah,
We just happened to meet a toy guy this week, toy soldier guy this weekend.
hey, that's what you learn, man. You learn. But I sold that Indian on a horse for 200. I should have probably asked my 250. That was where I was going to start. But there was a few of them in the $350 mark available. Right? So they were going between 3 and 350 and they were advertising it as a brand new. So I went 200 and it sold right away. But it
Yeah,
was like it was like
you did really well. I would probably ask 250, but who knows? It's easy for me to say that, and maybe it would have sat right. You don't
and
really know.
and I have another one. It was also the same First Legion brand, and
Yeah,
it was a cavalry sergeant. $200 on that one as well. He was on a horse, but I mean they look good too. But I think the Indians they have the color to them, and they just look.
that one
They
looked
just
really good.
stand. They just like it. They just pop the room. You know
I
what I
know.
mean?
Well, you thought about keeping it, right?
I was
So
almost going to keep it, buddy. Some more insoles sold. Um, what was the day? What was the day of our last recording?
was it did we do Thursday last week for some reason,
Yeah, I
or was
just
it
wonder what
Wednesday?
day it was. What is today?
No, I think it was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday last time. Yeah. So
Okay.
7 days ago today. The
Okay,
19th.
so I think this sold after the show,
Mm-hmm.
but I sold the Auga horn,
Yes, I remember that.
and
Yeah.
that sold for $275.
Oh wow. I think I
Yeah.
swore at you when you said you sold that. Yeah.
And just in case Don's listening, the guy says, "Does this have asbestos in it?" And I said, "No, man. I'm just
Oh,
kidding."
Don. Yeah.
No, it did. That question did not come up, and that answer was not given. So. But $275 on that horn. So, um, yeah, it just there. I mean, there's other ones like I said, like smaller toy soldiers and different things that sold. But dude, it was a really great week. Like from last week till now, like it was really good. So.
Nice.
And
I
it
sold.
helps when the booth has a really, really good day. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like that really pushes the day up too.
It
But
increases your confidence and your desire to do more too, right?
yeah, and I took some other stuff in there as well, car part wise, and I took in 2 gas tanks from a Model T, Model A Ford, and the hood, and they're bigger pieces. Um, like out of an auction, I paid $6 for one and $12 I think for the tanks and $6 for the hood.
Big spender.
I know, and but nobody wanted them. They're just too
They're
odd, right?
bulky. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got some fenders and stuff that's going to go on soon. Anyway, one guy came in and ask him if he has the whole car.
Oh yeah. He's trying to
I'm
build
like,
it.
no, you know. So they asked me, this guy wants to know if you have the whole car. I'm like,
Yeah, just
no, I
ripping
don't.
it apart bit by bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I got tons of car parts. Like I got enough parts. I probably do have the car. Um, the the uh, the auction actually had engines of 2 engines and a transmission, but they're like if I had like you really need like a barn. You need a tractor, a forklift. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
need the entire like
The chain lift and everything. Yeah.
yeah, like he had a little forklift. It's a little bigger than a riding lawnmower, but the guy had a forklift. But he probably paid like $20 for these engines. You know what I mean? And just to take them for parts and sell them for parts, like you can make a fortune. But they're probably just in scrap metal. At least I'm gonna say 350 just for the engine. You know what I mean? And just scrap like
Hey,
that's a
if you want
lot
to,
of iron there. You know.
right? It is. It
So
is.
and he had 2 of them plus the transmission. Um but I know they had the clutch and the pedal, and I know those things probably $100 a piece if you were to sell them online, right? So
Hmm.
maybe slightly more, but you'd have to buy the whole engine, dismantle, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but they only paid like $20 or something
I
per
wouldn't. I
engine.
wouldn't take it for free.
Huh?
I wouldn't take it for free.
Well, how I couldn't lift it. He
Exactly.
needed a
Right. You
forklift,
need all
right?
the equipment.
Yeah, and they had big trailer and all sorts of shit. But I
More
ended up
power to
getting
them, though. Right.
what's that?
More power to them. Like if people want to, it's like anything. There's a whole bunch of categories people just don't want to touch. And
Well,
if you're willing to do that work, more power
yeah.
to you. Right.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is it really worth all that time? You know
No.
what I mean? Because you
No.
can buy other things. Like the books are fun, and I think it's worth time. But there's so much work on the front end to score on the back end that sometimes I wonder if it's really worth it. You know, like okay, you can pay $500 and you can make I don't know 3-4 grand, but there's a lot of work involved in that. So I guess it's worth it, but it's really like there's a lot of time involved. So are you making as much money as you could if you're going out and buying stuff that you can just bam right away put on online? You know,
Like you
so,
could sell that engine for scrap for 350, or you could buy a film camera
well,
for.
well, and that's it. But I wouldn't just take the engine and scrap it.
But
Like
you know
that
what
was
I'm
my
saying.
point. My
You
point
know what I'm saying.
also would like I'm just
You're,
saying there's that much value just
yes,
in that.
you're safe.
But there's no pictures, there's no shipping it either, right? You just You got a machine that's going to take it and put it on a trailer, and then you're going to drive it right to the scrapyard.
Yeah.
Right, and you're going to drop it off. You don't have to take photos or anything. So it's probably almost equivalent in time. However, because there's two of them, so that now we're looking at $600 a piece. You know what I mean? Plus the transmission. So
yeah, but my hands might get dirty.
your hands are going to get dirty.
Look
Come
how
on.
clean and
Oh my
neat my
God.
hands are.
What are you for a Dove
So
dish
pink.
soap Dove dish soap commercial? But I would take the clutch and the brake, and I would take a lot of little outside pieces off too if they're easy to get at.
Until you have to buy that special part.
Those aren't going to take anything really away from your scrap metal price because they're light in comparison. But you're probably going to get another $100 a piece. So, they could be by the time you do all that kind of little thing, maybe you got 2 days involved and you got $1,000 per engine. You know what I mean? Or at least for the combo. But so in some regards, I guess it's worth it. But it doesn't mean that you're going to make more money. It's just another way of making the same amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're into that, why not?
Well, I think as a reseller, you should be into it. Like, you don't necessarily have to do the whole engine, but you should be into car parts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, honestly, this was in one of the boxes. It's a German. It's a German bell. It's worth about $60-$70.
That little bell that you can pick up and put in a little 6x4x4 box.
Yeah,
that's up my alley too, right? Like, I'd pick that up. But when we're talking about, like, if we're talking, like, you remember that fender you got and you got good money for?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if I would deal with that because
it wasn't a fender; it was a grill.
Oh, sorry, grill.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't a good buy. I'm just saying I'm not sure if I would have dealt with that.
So I bought more grills. I also got a shelf of contents, and in there were boxes of car parts. So I just check out how much this is worth.
Yeah, this is, and like right now he's showing me.
It's a Model T Ford. You can see Ford right on there.
Beautiful design.
Yeah, so it's a Model T Ford. Ignition coil. I've sold ignition coils before from there. They're in wood boxes, and you set 4 of them in here. This is ignition coil box. It's got the porcelain. It's all. I think these take the place of the spark plugs, right? So this would be where your batteries and stuff sit in there and everything. This is probably the most important part for value. But this whole setup here, Carl, what do you think that's worth?
$100.
Keep going.
300.
Keep going. I want you.
400.
If you're in America, it's $450. It's about $650-$700 Canadian.
Oh wow! Yeah, I would not know that.
Yeah. So, but it has to have this, and it's got to be in this type of condition. But I have a bunch more that
very clean
that are worth about $100, $150 each, all in a box, dude. All in a box. Those little wooden, the ones that fit in there are wooden cases. They're called ignition coil wood box. So I'm putting them online in groups of 2 or 3 for about $85 for a group of 2, $100 for a group of 3, and I'm putting other ones that might have a little piece broken or something missing for $25 under the booth, and they'll sell. I've sold them before out of the booth, so they're in a box that nobody wants, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows what that is. I didn't know what it is, but I know I sold those block engine coils before, so I know there's money there.
Yeah.
And then these things were just a bonus, Yeah,
that's crazy. That's a lot of money.
Crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So car parts, like, honestly, the old car parts, I got some more grills, I got some fenders, and you're paying pennies on the dollar. Like $6 for a hood. I got 185 on it, You know, if I sold it online, it's worth 350, but it's really big. It's big to ship, so I just got it for the booth. I'm gonna put like half the price on it, and I got $6 in it. You know,
$6.
six
That's it.
bucks, $6, and then there's hood ornaments. There's I mean I could go through and show you more, and then I got more elsewhere. It's just phenomenal what some of these things are worth, and you don't even really have to know. You just have to recognize, okay, this is an old car part, and it's a whole box of them for $5. I'm not going to
Yeah.
pass that up, right?
No.
That's all I'm saying. And whatever's too cheap, you can put in your booth now. You know, so
And if it's $5, you lose your $5. It's like not the end of the world, right?
yeah, but you don't want to keep losing $5. But
No.
it's
You don't
five
want to buy
dollars
just
of learning.
yeah.
It's worth a learning experience for $5.
Yeah.
So it's an education you're buying. So yeah, you can look at it that way for sure. It's not the end of the world because it's a learning cost. But yeah, so this week, this week in selling has been great, and then I have these things to put up now. So those have been great too. But that's out of the same place as the books.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
all the auto manuals and stuff, right? So
I have an auction coming up tonight, and we'll see with books in it. And there's one book in there. It's like that looks special, and that's selling to I think 60 to 70 American, maybe 80 American,
nice.
and no bids yet. There's other stuff at the auction because it's kind of like I gotta drive like 40 minutes to get it, so it's kind of like I need more than that book to make it worth the
Yeah,
trip.
but you just never know what else is going to be there, though. Buddy.
Yeah, well, there's at least 3 yearbooks in there, so that might be useful too. And plus some other ones I know are okay. So
yeah,
a bunch of garbage. So we'll see. Am I going to do that? Oh, I sold like the Pokemon Master Trainer game for 200 American.
Yeah, that's nice.
I made the mistake though. It's like I just want to see where this is going. Let's hope it's not like a brand new person. So I look it up. It's like, oh fuck, it's a brand new buyer. But in BC. So I was nosy. It's like I kind of want to see. It's like I looked at the houses. It's like, oh, these people are rich, because it's like, I just kind of wanted to know where it was going.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with a brand new buyer.
No, neither have I. I don't know why I look. I never looked, but this time I looked.
Yeah.
But it is going in Canada, so it's good.
It's a Pokemon trainer game worth over $200 Canadian, and those things are kind of the holy grail. You look for them all the time. You don't see them often, but when you do, you're really excited about it. You don't want to lose on it. I get it. No. I get why you would look.
And it's a pain in the butt to not. Actually, that was fairly easy to pack.
Yeah,
but it costs money to pack, and it's going with UPS. So hopefully they don't charge me. I made sure I put a little extra space on the dimensions just to see.
I always do with them for sure.
Do you as well? Yeah.
Not much. Like if it's 67, I'll put 68 centimeters.
Yeah. I don't go overboard. No.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Yeah.
If it's like, usually I'm fairly conservative when it comes to my measurements. Like if it's 63 and a half, then I put 64. I never do the opposite. I think that's what stings people sometimes. They try to squeeze it and they get stung for the overage fees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you can't squeeze it. Canada Post, you can get a little bit away with it, but I don't even there. But
there's a funny thing with inches there too, where if it goes, anyways, won't go into it.
Yeah.
Blank audio tapes. Been selling those. I went and shipped off a bunch for like $50 or $60, and then I went to the store and I picked up another box for like $10. That's worth 150 of audio tapes. It's like one goes in, one goes out. Audio tapes are nice and easy too, right?
Yeah.
And that was my Bolo 1 week. So it's still out there, still findable, still sells. So still good.
Good. Nice. Yeah. We still got a ways before yard sale season.
Yeah, it's just a dream at this point. Like it's melting.
Is it, Carl? Is it really a dream?
Well, a nightmare is a type of dream.
Yeah, it's just a dream. It's just a bad dream.
I've gotten rid of so much inventory now. It's kind of nice because I just take it to the booth and just dump it there.
Oh, you have the
Uh,
expansion, right? So
The expansion, but also because like I have that desk now, I can just bring things and just process stuff while I'm sitting there anyways,
perfect.
which is really nice. So I sold some frames I was just going to donate, and someone bought those, so that was good. That was really good.
Like wooden frames.
Yeah, wooden frames, but they
Nice.
they were basically free in an auction lot,
They're always
and
free, dude. They're always cheap. So if you can
yeah,
find a place to sell them, you got it good. Like
yeah. And hey,
not
it's like a
that's not
couple
the first
bucks.
one you've sold them.
So having the desk there is really good because I can process stuff. I don't have to get big money for the frames, right? I was asking like $2 to $4 because I just want them gone. She's like, why are you selling this one so cheap? It's like in my head, it's like I just want this gone. I don't like.
Yeah.
I literally just put it out. I'm not trying to get a lot of value for this. Like if I get $2 or if I get $5, I don't really care that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
So no, it was. It's really big. The desk is really good for that. So
Yeah, for sure. If you can get work done while you're there, that's great. For
all I
sure.
need is internet now, which is a problem. But I feel sorry for the owner a little bit because he had someone yelling at him the other day for something, who knows what. Like that weekend off we had there. I'm sure it was something to do with that. So it's just like, right now it's not a good time to go to him and say, "Hey, how about that internet?"
Yeah. Ah,
So
well,
the
it's a
owner's really
business. Man.
the owner's really good. You can tell but you can also tell that like he's used to dealing with a lot of crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not tough, but he's like he can be tough if he
Yeah.
has to be tough, right? So, which is
Yeah.
good. That's something you actually want in someone managing a flea market.
Yeah. Well, our owners can be like that too, for
They
sure.
have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like herding cats, man. So,
Um, I'll throw in a couple more things that I sold out of the booth that I thought was interesting,
right.
and they were kind of this one was kind of a gamble because it's outdated, but we do live in a farming kind of hunting community. Was one of those old skeet shooters.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now, if you find an old one and it says Winchester on it or something like that, like those are worth buying, and they're going to be a little bit big, but they're worth shipping because I think you can get $500-600 for those. This was not that. This was like kind of like a lesser brand by far, but I still out of the booth $135.
That's a lot of money to me.
Yeah, so that was good. It sat around for probably 6 months. I don't think it's been there a year, but like say 6 to 8 months, which is kind of get a little bit when it's a bigger item. It kind of gets to be a pain.
Yeah. You get sick
But
of looking at it.
I a glass basket, which I think would have been pink, but it was kind of one of those glass basket things, like a Fenton thing. I got $45 for that.
That's a lot.
I don't. What did I say I got for that twine wheel? $30 because it's
Can't
actually
remember.
35. So I'm just trying to go through. Coleman lantern for 45. Um, and a gas pump nozzle for $35. An old gas pump nozzle.
Yeah, those are good prices. Like most of my sales at the booth are around between 5 to 20, 5 to maybe 5 to 20, that kind of range. So anything big, but yeah, you have an antique market. It's not the same thing.
Pig door stop, $30. This is oddball stuff that I haven't mentioned yet. So, couple of games and stuff like that, but they're in the $15 range. But it was just a really good week. But those are kind of the bigger sales that I hadn't talked about and stuff. But there's, like I said, one guy came in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 VHS for $5 a piece. VHS tapes, dude.
I actually went this week or last week. I actually had bought at auction, one of those tray lots full of DVDs, and there were 8 tray lots, and I said, I'll just take them all, right?
Yeah.
And one of them was just VHS, which normally I would say no, but whatever, I don't care. So I found one VHS that was worth keeping. So
Yeah.
all the rest I just turned into three coupons.
Yeah.
So I kind of got my money back out of it in terms of coupon value. Uh, I wouldn't do that, but it was just like,
I I kind of stick to horror. That's kind
yeah,
of really where I only know
yeah.
when it comes to VHS and DVD. But like I said, I got 25 for one, 20 for a VHS. That must have been the same guy. There's kind of separated here in the column, but it's because of it ranks by value. And then two VHS for $10 each, and then one, two, three, four, five, six for five. So he must have just been on a tear for VHS tapes. But he's gonna be a collector, right? So
I sold some DVDs. Like sometimes it's just people who, for whatever reason, like having DVDs. And in
well,
VHS, like you said, it hasn't been transferred to DVD. You just can't watch it sometimes too.
well, you
And
know
the
what they're doing. You know what they're doing with a lot of people do with the DVDs and VHS, other than collectors.
watch them
But you know why?
because they don't have cable.
Because they take them to their cottage
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
don't have all cable and stuff there. So
There's some of that happening too. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's I don't know, just kind of going on some things. You took a quick little break there because you had to answer the phone, Carl. So I went on and I saw that skeet shooter thing. I think, oh, I better talk about that. Then I
Yeah.
scroll down and I'm like, there is actually some interesting things that sold here, but it's you don't like weekends aren't always like this, that's for sure. But they're pretty decent. But when you have a really good one, it just like and things go that have been sitting around. You know what I mean? It's just like but it was a beautiful weekend. Like there's
That
snow on
helped.
the ground, but it was so warm. Like it
Oh
was
yeah.
plus 4,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So I think it was just one of those times where people could get out, right?
Well,
So
last weekend, like people couldn't get out, so because of
yeah.
the snowstorm. So no, it was good. And like I said, I like the combo now. It's like it's busy enough, and like I'm always talking to the other booth owners for half the day,
Yeah.
and then the other half of the day is customers. And if there's anything in between, now I have something I can do. And it's just nice to be able to sit and have a work spot, where I can put things down. Like I had,
That's awesome.
like those frames were dirty, right? So it's
Yeah.
just nice to sit there in my chair. I had my Windex and my tissue, and I could just clean these frames without being awkward about it. I had someone to put them down, and even putting things down on the counter just there, like I just priced, I sold right away.
Yeah.
So it's it makes it more pleasurable too. So, but the weekends, yeah, I like to have a $400 weekend, but I was happy with my 200 plus.
That's good. That's good.
The
You got to
funny thing
remember
is,
too, the space I have is crazy amount, right? Like it's
yeah,
like when I first started out, it was a 6 by 10, and then I ended up going to a 9 by 10, 10 by 10. It was two combined by one was a 9 by 10 booth and one was a 10 by 10 booth, and there was no middle wall. It was kind of like probably what your setup is
yeah,
like now.
yeah,
And then and now I'm at two very large booths and one smaller one. So I need to be selling more. I'm paying a lot more rent and commission too. So
yeah. But you have all week to sell stuff. I only have
and
the
I
Sunday,
have all week to sell it.
so
Yes.
you're paying for the whole month. I'm paying for 4 days.
Yeah.
You know,
So
and that's how she
oh,
looks
hang on,
now.
let me blow you up here, bud.
What I'm doing is just showing him the booth layout. If
Can,
that will focus.
well, send me a picture of it on my phone. Text it to me. Or is that a video?
No, I'll text it to you. But anyways, yeah, I have
Just because
lots of
there's a
work
bit of a
left to do.
glare there, it's hard to see. Sorry, go ahead, Carl. Was
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's going to be a while to get everything set up because even with the way it is now, it's pretty messy. There we go. But like when I'm bringing in big furniture, there's only so much inventory I can bring as well.
yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of empty spots. So it'll give me something to do on Sundays too. I just want to make sure I have everything priced.
I I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like you get out, you get to meet people and see people in the same and doing the same thing, right? Reselling. So
And like I said, meeting that appraiser, that was a lot of fun too.
Now, does that person have a booth there? Did you say?
No, she
Oh,
definitely doesn't.
she just walking through.
Yeah,
Does she resell?
I don't think so. I think she does a bit, but not a lot. I didn't really actually. It's funny you think I'd ask that, but we were talking about so much stuff that I never got to that.
Oh, the booth looks good, dude.
See, but there's tons of like my front there's empty, right?
Yeah,
It's
but at
it
least it looks good. Like you can always fill that up, but it's spacious and it's organized. And I see where you sit now, behind where the pictures are behind you.
yeah.
Yeah, you assembled that desk.
Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. It was one of those like you kind of like it's actually from Walmart. I thought it was from somewhere, but it was Walmart, but some other company was really selling it, right?
Yeah,
And I put it together as like an IKEA desk, but not even the instructions were as good as IKEA because like a lot of like for I know no people can't see, but it's just a bunch of like metal bars. It's very open,
yeah.
but you can put them in the wrong direction extremely easily and have to. So I had to pull it apart many times, but no, it's good. The funny thing is, you never know what's gonna sell. Like I have my friend's stuff there.
Yeah.
So he has his records on one side, and you see a bunch of shirts and hoodies. Hockey jerseys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's all his stuff. And normally he sells like 100 a week, maybe 50 to 100, maybe a little less. He didn't sell anything this weekend, so
Really?
I don't know why. But
Well, the only thing I'm going to say here is once you bring in more stuff, all those shelves of DVDs, possibility just to make yourself more room, I would lift up that tablecloth. You can get, those clips that you can get,
yes,
and then pull that so that so the bottom underneath the table is exposed. And I would put totes with your DVDs. People will still go for them, dude. They might even go for them more. They love sitting there digging. But then you're gonna have that whole shelf for other stuff.
well, I might anyways because I have totes of DVDs at home because there's no
Yeah.
room,
Okay.
so I can easily just bring them in, throw them under there, and say there's more over here.
Yeah.
So,
So there's the and I'm only saying that's what I do, but it just to maximize more space, and you still have that there. People for DVDs will go nuts. They're gonna go for them anyway. But it looks good. Like I think it looks good. You got
did
the
you like my
display cabinet
accordion?
at the back.
I have an accordion there. I just brought in. I
Yeah,
put it there last minute. That's $150 to $200 American accordion,
yeah,
but I have it for less than the booth. 100. I can ask 200, and people bargain me down.
yeah,
But it was just hilarious. I thought people played it. I've become good friends with some of the guys around me. And one of the guys, like I'd taken it out, but
yeah,
I put like a bunch of plastic wrap around it,
yeah.
and I just left it on top of my desk. And then I went to say hello to a friend at the very front of the mall. And I came back, and the guy said, "Oh, I saw your accordion and played." And it's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, he had unwrapped it, played it, and then wrapped it up again." It's kind of funny. And then someone else came and played it. Hopefully, it'll sell. I wanted the thing to sell, but
Do you know how to play guitar?
no.
Oh, because I was gonna say you could sit there and play guitar and.
Yeah, exactly. Ask for coins.
I was thinking that, but I'm just like draw people into your booth. But yeah, you could ask for money too.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good week. I was really happy to get in there and just get that desk up. That desk had been sitting in my. I had to pull it apart to transport it,
Yeah,
but that had been sitting in our living room, and I was getting the side eye a lot.
yeah,
So I had to put it in the garage at one point, and now I was like, okay, good. It's reached its destination. Yeah,
yeah. No, that's good. It looks good there too, right? So you
lots of
can
room for
utilize
more
it to
stuff.
display too.
Yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. Um, yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of my week. Is that pretty much it for you
Yeah,
too?
it was a good week. Nothing big sourcing wise coming up. So I might go to the thrift stores again tomorrow. The other big thing too is we're going to find out next week The T word coming up again.
Not even gonna get into it today, Carl.
No. Okay, that's fine.
No. Until it happens, what are you gonna do? And then if it does happen, what are you gonna do?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. For me, just business as normal. Everything's going good, so I can't complain. And we'll complain when I need to, right? So
You still have lots of inventory to bring to your booths?
oh, I have lots of inventory, dude. It's
There's some
insane.
empty shelves are behind you, but maybe it's because you just put them there.
Oh no, they were full. I'm just I've listed a few things. I took some things to the booth. These things are stuff that I'm getting ready to list. My son can list down the stuff up there. I still got to go through, but they're probably going to go online. There's a lot of war medals and stuff there. Yeah, everything's just kind of organized, right? So
Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's a constant turnover, so I got to make sure I'm keeping up with it. And the I have a couple of really good days of listing on eBay. Then there's a couple of bad days and a couple of good days, so I need to kind of make that a little bit more consistent.
Right.
But I mean, other than that, everything's fine. I think if I was a little more consistent on the listing, it'd be really good. But sometimes it's a little harder. I don't know, just because I'm getting older. I don't know. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. Brain.
Well, for me, it's laziness.
I'm trying to avoid that word, but that's probably it, right? But
I'm also getting to the point in my inventory where it's all the pain in the butt stuff. That's not just like count cards or like, the audio tapes are easy, right? It's all sealed. It's like, that's easy. It's getting to the point. It's like, well, maybe I should deal with these cameras I have or these electronics. Or I picked up another like freaking DVD VHS player because I can't leave it behind. It's $200 for $10.
Yep.
But they're missing the critical part, which is the remote control, which sometimes is a lot of the value. So
you can still probably get $40 out of your booth on them. So 10 into 40, $50 is still good. And that's what I do. When the ones without remotes, I'll just put in the booth. Right. So, if I've only sold a couple of VHS tapes, VCRs online, but a lot of them I have sold out of the booth. So sometimes I'll put, like, if they're the cheaper ones, I'm going to put like a Toshiba's a good brand, but without the remote and it's an older one, I'll put $25, $35 and it'll sell out of the booth. Right. So
I'm going to start bringing them in one by one.
Yeah.
And start doing that. Because I have the quote unquote blue line ones, the Panasonic blue lines.
Yeah.
Which are okay. But
well, they got good values online, right?
Well, they're okay values online.
Yeah.
I still rather get 40 out of the booth than 80 online, to be honest.
Okay.
But, what I kind of doing too is like whenever I go to the thrift stores, any VHS DVD remotes that I see now, I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to buy them and unless they're like RCA or something, just to have them because eventually I might get the combo for it. But
because
they take up a lot of room at home,
Yeah. But you'll be surprised. Like I don't know. I'm sure you won't be surprised. Like anything that sells is not a surprise anymore. Some things that sell is more of a surprise that it sells. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, kind of forget where I was going there. But the with the VCRs, like people still want them, right? So
yeah.
So as long as you can prove that they're working or say that they're tested.
Yeah, I'll bring them. Like I'll bring I have a little 14-inch TV.
Yeah.
So I have lots of room right now where I could just easily put that on a shelf
and just
have it run.
Yeah, just right. So for sure.
I like to reemphasize the one point again of like how hilarious it is whenever you move something, it sells.
Yeah.
Like I had things since September day one. No one even looked at it. It's this little X-Acto set kit. Yeah. And everyone freaking looked at it on one day. I moved to the front at the corner and it sold. But it was just hilarious. No one had ever looked at it before.
Yeah. All right.
So, you ready
I
for
agree
that?
with you though, but that's good. That's it for me. Anything else?
No, that's it. Good week.
So, so
Happy
what time is it now, Carl?
Bolo of the week.
Bolo of the week. All right. You got a bolo?
I do, but it's your turn to go first.
Oh, you want me to go to first? Okay. Well, I don't know if this is something new to people or something everyone knows, but Harry Humstone's favorite thing to find. Do you know what that is?
Well, it's either Coleman Lanterns
It is.
or or it's
You're gonna
Fairylands
or
or it's
typewriters.
insulators.
It is Coleman lanterns.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's going to be my bolo of the week is Coleman lanterns. Don't pass them up. I can sell them out of the booth for around $45 a piece, but some go way higher than that. So like I think some you can be even get into the thousands, but those might be a little bit of a rarity. But even for parts and repair, you can sell them online for 40, 50, $60. Even more if they're one of the rare ones. But just the normal ones, they're metal. I go for the ones in metal. You don't want to test them, then you don't have to. You can just clean them up and sell them parts and repair. Show that the globe is not like the little glass insert's not cracked or broken. And that's it. You don't have to just say untested parts and repair. The date is usually on the bottom. Um, the older you're going to start realizing kind of roughly the dates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't matter if you're paying $10 or less. Just grab it. And you'll see a lot like that. Like I bought once. Oh, God, well, how many did I get? I think I got 65 at one time for $10 a piece. He was just a guy. So what had happened was his neighbor was a collector and left him a bunch of stuff, and including in that stuff was all these Coleman lanterns. So I just bought the whole collection. So,
Wow.
and it was less than $10 a piece. Actually, I think it was 400 and something for the whole collection is what it came out to. Now in that collection, a couple of them had no glass inserts, which doesn't really matter because I'll just sell it parts and repair anyways. The problem is they're all going to need cleaning, and I bought this a long time ago, and I'll put two at a time in the booth. So if one sells or they both sell, I'll just bring another bunch in. But now I'm going to list them all online and just parts and repair.
So what happens if there's kerosene still in them?
I've already dumped that out. So it should be good now. Nice and dry. Just dump it out.
Okay.
Put it in a pot, and then like if you're going to use it to start your fire in your fire pit, like be very, very careful. I wouldn't recommend it unless you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because this stuff is highly flammable and it burns for a long time. It's not like gasoline. You know what I mean? Gasoline kind of has a quicker burn, I think. The kerosene seems to burn hotter and longer, so
when I first had one, I tested it and I scared the hell out of me just lighting the damn thing up. It was scary. It's like whoosh.
Well,
it's loud and it is kind of produce a lot of heat too, right?
Yeah. So what I would suggest is just for your own safety, not you so much, but anybody listening that's never dealt with them, go on YouTube, check it out. Right? If you want to learn how to start them and test them, like there's good ones there, but there's a lot of little things involved. I think it's easier just to do parts and repair, even if it is working. If you're going to sell it working out of a booth or something like that, but it could need some, even if it works, it could need a small part that you're not aware of that could tick someone off.
Like
you know what I mean?
I bought I probably paid too much for it, and I bought a red one. Yeah. It was missing the finial. So it's a slight pain in the butt.
Yeah. But parts and repair, you can just show that. You know what I mean? You're going to show all the parts and repair. This is what it is. Right? Appears complete. Whatever. You can put that.
Cheap too. Like people, they might sell for 40 or 50, but a lot of people don't want to deal with them. So sometimes you can get them cheap.
So what'll happen is I think people will refurbish them and they'll sell them themselves.
Okay.
right? So if you go online, and there's people that collect them, and they'll refurbish and collect them. But I probably have a 30 left. You
Yeah.
know,
I've one I'm
25 for sure.
staring at right from here.
Yeah.
So they are. I understand you're bringing them out one by two, but they can be a death pile thing if you're not careful, like with typewriters too, or
Well,
VHS
I
DVDs.
mean, anything can be a death pile if you don't deal with it. Is that what you?
True, but
Yeah.
this stuff is a little bit more of a pain in the butt to deal with. It's not like a deck of cards, right?
Okay, but you,
It's not
you
like a toy.
you jump right to like one picture in a box, leave it, go to
I
have a
hate work.
nap. Yeah, if you want to make like, I could say that it would probably take about half an hour to give it a quick clean down, take some photos, put it up, and put it away. And if you're making 40, 45 bucks on the sale, like,
It's okay.
it's okay. If you got nothing going on, it's okay, right? But I don't know. I can sell them without touching them. I can just put them in the booth and forget about it. But they are a bit of a slow sell out of the booth that way. But I don't know. You're still going to probably come and walk away with 25 bucks, 20 bucks at the end of the day. So if you do two an hour, which I think is like, if you can't do two an hour, I think you're you're watching too much TV at the same time. But so you're looking at 30, 40 bucks an hour. And you're not, most people aren't going to buy them in the bulk that I bought them at. Like, I've only ever had that opportunity once. But if you're at a yard sale and you see one, and the thing is, some of them can go for hundreds to thousands of dollars and not working and not complete, just the parts, right? So
Yeah,
you don't want to pass one up at $10 when it possibly could be one of those. You're going to go home and research it because all the information's on the bottom. You can do a Google Lens, all sorts of things, right? So, but on the lower end, you're looking at 45 bucks. On the high end, you could be looking at $1,000.
yeah.
So,
No, it's a good thing.
so,
I'm gonna.
and if you want to be really cheap, you could probably sell for 30 bucks just the glass insert, right?
I have done that. I
Yeah.
have literally done that. Yeah,
And then you just scrap the rest,
yeah.
right?
That's what I did.
So there it is.
That's all I cared about was that glass insert.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So that's it there. That's my Bolo. What's your Bolo?
Okay. So mine is Bratz, BRTZ dolls. They kind of look like easy women.
The women that hang around Parliament Hill on a Friday night, is that in the fur coat?
Protesting about
Protest.
Anyway,
Keep sign or
let's just drop all that. So, anyways, yeah, the Bratz dolls are definitely worth picking up if you can get them for $1 or $2 for sure. Like not even naked, because the older ones, or not even the older ones, they can go for hundreds of dollars. So I found one the other week, and it goes, if it was new, it'd be like a $400 doll just on the baggy wall.
yeah.
Now I always look for them, and I don't see them that often. So I'm not saying they show up so off that much, but basically, it's kind of like, I'm sure everyone knows, but if you don't, they're like Barbie dolls, except modern Barbie dolls, and with makeup on and pouty lips and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and their heads are disproportionate to
The
their
heads are
body.
just big, and their feet come off. So it's not just like shoes they're wearing, it's like the shoes include their feet. And I picked up at the baggy wall big bags of those as well and sold those for okay money. I'm sure there are rare ones as well.
Yeah.
And I think, and here's the other thing with these Bratz dolls, I feel that the prices have actually gone up since the last time I looked. So I think like that collecting market, like in the year around 2000, those people are getting to their 20s, could be in their 30s, that collecting age, and so they're worth getting. If you see them new in box, definitely check them out. There's more modern ones as well, which, like I said, if it's one of those things, if you get them cheap enough, it's good. The other ones that are kind of like this is kind of Monster High as well. So Monster High is in the same category where they can be worth like 10, 20, or $100. And what they basically are is, dolls like Barbie, except they're monsters.
Yeah.
And you'll see them on the baggy wall too. Maybe someone's selling off their collection. The shoes are different though; they're not the same type. But and yeah, like I said, I picked up a couple. One's worth 100, one's worth 40. I paid $5 each or something. So there are fakes. So I think I picked up some Monster High ones that were fake.
Yeah.
And the reason you could tell is when you flip the hair back, they're kind of bald on most of the hair because they hadn't bothered putting in the hair through the whole way. You can't tell when the hair is down because it covers up the bald spot. But when I flicked them, I realized, there's something weird about these, and they were actually fake ones.
So that's on the Bratz or the Monster High?
Yeah, I think it was Monster High in that case.
Okay. So is there like a label embossed on them?
Yeah, there would have been. I think that's probably what turned me to the fact that they might not be real. I don't think they were fake in terms. They were knockoffs. They weren't fake. They were knockoffs, but you couldn't just tell. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So how do you know the feet were real?
It wasn't the feet.
You said you got a bag of feet.
Oh, the feet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the feet were real because I could just check. Google Lens it, right?
Okay.
The only thing that's a little difficult with these dolls is sometimes IDing exactly what you're looking at, because it feels like they might have a common face, and then different models of that particular one. So it does take a little research, but Google Lens is your lifesaver here.
Now, if I have a bunch of them in a bag, which I do, and they've been sitting there, and the hair gets all kind of lopsided or flat, like what do I do to fix that?
That's a really good question, because why, like My Little Pony at the thing and someone was telling me I need to comb the hair out because they want, everyone who buys those wants the hair nice.
But it's like a synthetic hair. It's not real hair, right? So it can be pulled out and knotted. And
if someone cut it, I would. Yeah, I don't like. Should you make it pretty? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, but I haven't done it. That's a good question, though.
Okay, because I have to do that, I guess.
Well, you spend a day outside on the porch just combing the hair of your dolls.
Yeah,
like every other Saturday.
Yeah, and then somebody drives by, and all of a sudden I'm like, hairdresser.
Do it in the backyard then.
Yeah. pretty bird.
Stephanie can ask you what the hell you're doing. It's like, I don't know.
That's what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing new there either, right? Anyways, I know it's kind of vague what I'm saying, but really it is a category that you should just buy if you see it for $1 or $2. It's like with Barbie though, it's like if they've redressed the dolls, I'd rather have, if I'm going to pay $5 or $6, I'd really rather have one that has its clothes on still rather than just naked ones. But
yeah, do the clothes sell? That's a good
I'm sure they do. Yeah, but that to me, clothing is hellish to ID.
Well, I just find it hard to, and I know I was getting, hit pretty hard when Adam bought them out of my booth and then sold them. But I don't know if the clothes is proper. I don't know anything about them, and they're kind of like, the hair was kind of all messy and stuff like that. So I just thought, I paid $5 for a bag of them, and I put $15 a piece on them, and I just threw them in the booth, right?
And he found there's enough room there to buy and resell.
Yeah, so I think he might have got $100 for one of them, but which is fine. I just didn't want to have to deal with not knowing and getting a complaint and all that kind of stuff, right? So.
Right. So you'd rather just deal with Coleman lanterns than dolls?
Of course, dude. Yeah.
And that's what's great, right? Everyone has the thing they're willing to deal with.
Well, a Coleman lantern, they're not going to come back at me and say, hey, you got the wrong clothes on this
Well, they could come back and say, hey, this glass globe doesn't belong to this lantern model.
Whatever. That isn't going to happen at all. It wouldn't fit otherwise.
Right?
Okay.
See, you're an expert.
What's that?
You're an expert on lanterns.
Well, you're an expert on dolls, so I was just quizzing you.
I'm
I just
expert on
wanted
money, man.
your money,
Thanks, man.
but well, no, thank you, man. What about the Monster High? Isn't there another one that's close to the Monster High?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, uh, hmm.
I thought there was like a Monster High, and then there was something close to that. Which and is it the older ones are worth like first generation that kind of stuff or
Oh, I'm sure it is.
yeah okay
Yeah. No,
okay probably a Google Lens is your best friend on those points, right?
it can be hellish, like I said, because they can have the same face but different model years. I think
Okay,
so.
I do have a bag like a very large, might even be two bags, but bag of them. Nice. And there are different sizes of the Brad dolls too. There's minis and there's
There is minis. Generally I stay away from those, but I was looking through just before the show, and some of them do sell. So maybe I'd be missing out.
yeah
Not like a
yeah.
fortune here, but
Well,
I,
you
I,
think
I
if you find them new in the box and they're a certain like Chris got one that was the hockey one or something, and that was worth 200 or 300 bucks, wasn't it?
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I think it was worth around 300 bucks. So some of them can get quite.
Yeah, and not all of them are like a lot of them are going to be in the $20-$25 range, but
Yeah.
perfect. Well, thank you.
All right. Good
See
bolo,
you,
Carl.
Bolo.
Now what time is it, Carl?
It's time for comments.
Time for comments. Let's see how much beat up I get this week.
Oh, I think they left you alone somehow.
Oh, did they? Yeah. All right. Let me see here. All right. So we're going to go to Spotify as always here, and we got two on Spotify. Tina Mack is here. Sorry to hear about your dad, Adam. Okay, so that's responding to Adam, who will be next here. What's is that? People PPL.
I don't know what that stands for.
Carl, I feel so bad. PPL. So I'm not sure what that stands for, but say PPL. Carl, I feel so bad that you stress out about the Bolo segment so much.
Oh, I just like bitching. Don't worry about
it. Well, you try to come up with something new and interesting each week, right? So, but I don't think you've had a bad Bolo yet.
I'll just make up something anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Tina. And the good thing is it makes us learn something too, right? As
Well,
long as we're actually picking something we don't already know 1,000 things about.
Well, it's hard for me to find that item, so I have to talk about what I do know. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm the worst one. I have a what do you call that kind of jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
So I kind of know a lot about or a little about a lot, but not much about anything in particular. So
yeah, in the same way. That's
and I think that keeps me out of trouble, right? So I don't get too like toy soldiers. I might get a little bit crazy with now going forward, but anyway. So the next one is Adam. Hey guys, sorry I haven't replied in a couple of weeks or so. My dad recently passed away. Wow.
So sorry to hear about that, Adam.
Sorry about that, Adam. My dad passed away. It's getting on about 10 years ago now. Pretty much 10 years now. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry to hear about that. So I had to fly to Texas. Okay. He was out in Texas. Take care of his estate and then drive back to Washington with a pickup full of his belongings. The bad news is I felt that everyone thought I was there just to take what I can to sell it because they know I'm a reseller. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to deal with it somehow. So if people don't want it, then what's wrong with picking that up, right? What we did, and it took about a couple years before we got to there, but we ended up just selling it at a yard sale, and that's kind of what got me into reselling, is seeing
Yeah,
the interest that these people had in their stuff, in his stuff, right?
it's sparked your interest. Yeah,
Yeah. Because I couldn't believe it, and I'm like, why is everybody so into this stuff, and what we throw away?
yeah.
And there was people coming back, and some people mentioned that this is the best yard sale they've been to this year, and like it was crazy, right? So couldn't be further from the truth. Good news is I now have tons of Harley clothes to sell among other items. It's hard to accept lowball offers on personal items, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think you gotta. I mean, hey, I'm not telling you what to do, but I think you kind of have to separate from that. And I only say that because when I've gone to situations where that has happened, people will end up holding on to those items for that. What do you call that?
Sentimental.
Sentimental. So try not to fall into that trap. But I can understand it for sure.
And I
But
can understand why you put in a difficult position. It's like, oh, looks like you're just wanting to get that stuff, but it's like, it's more than that. But at the same time, like every family has to get rid of all those things.
yeah,
So the fact that you have someone in the family who can do it to me is a good thing. But I get it. It's especially when when it comes to your family, it's not the same thing, right? But
yeah. But hey, listen, like I don't know. What do you hear different people say different things, especially when you're at the funeral and all that kind of stuff, right? But you just push through it, and you do what you got to do. So I know I'll be straight up. It might sound bad, maybe it's wrong time to say this, but when I pass away, my son sells my stuff and makes a little bit of money off it. I'll be happy for him. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you don't need it anymore.
I don't need it, so go do what you got to do with it, right?
Yeah.
It's better than throw it in the garbage. I'd rather him make a few bucks off it. So I wouldn't think too much into it. So, but anyway, sorry to hear about that, Adam, and
Yeah.
good to see you back here, and glad to hear from you, and hopefully we hear from you next week and going forward. So, anyways, that's a big drive too, all the way to Texas. That's got to be. It depends what part of Texas, because I'm sure Texas is a big state to drive through itself.
I have no idea. I'd have to look at a map.
I'm thinking probably 15 hours, 20 hours.
Oh yeah,
of driving.
Oh wow. Okay.
So just a thought, but all right, Adam and Tina, thank you for your comments.
Thank you. So first one from YouTube is Dawn. Laugh out loud, Carl. Not knowing what hooked rugs are is kind of funny, but for no real reason other than it's fun to laugh at Carl. Thank you, Dawn.
What did she say?
She'd be mean to me.
That's what I was wondering.
Sometimes the rug hooking kits or even the bundles of the cut yarn will also sell, but I think like with anything else, it depends. It's funny? Guess what I picked up last week from the Valley Village? A hooked rug.
Did you really? A good one?
It's a kit, and it's worth over $100.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
See?
And
what did you pay for it?
$6.
Yeah. Dude, I'm making you money, right?
Right? It's just funny though.
Yeah.
Normally I don't, but like it was completely sealed. It had Santa on it. And usually stuff like that with Santa or Christmas stuff is a good general Bolo anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually just rate a list because it's easy. It's all sealed. I just got to take pictures back and forth.
So it was a kit.
Yep.
Oh, so it wasn't a rug that had already been completed years ago. Okay. Where's the cat?
Cat.
Didn't you say there was a cat on it?
Santa.
Oh.
Santa. It's for Santa. See? There's, what's that called? Bushella?
Yeah.
And it's Santa.
And it's $100.
About that, yeah.
American? Or Canadian?
I'll check it out here and let you know. Okay, I don't have a whole lot else for you this week, and Just working on my tax. Don't tell me about that crap while I wait for the HVAC technician to come see why we had no freaking heat today. Have a good week. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Did you uncover your vents? Because that was killing a lot of furnaces around here in Ottawa. Because once those vents get covered up, it kills your furnace. That's how much snow we got.
Yeah.
But thank you, Don.
All right. Got Randy here. Nova Scotia Kel. I did mention pancakes and Nova Scotia maple syrup, which Scott mentioned in this week's episode, which makes me a little suspicious. Wow.
Okay.
Mom used to make hooked. Mom used to make hooked rugs from worn out strips of clothing. Okay, so that could have been interesting. Beaver on a rug. Wow. Say.
I don't know what to say. So this sold for about 30 to 60 Americans. So
okay,
it's easy
so
though.
We're getting close to $100 on it.
Yeah, on the out. Still, I would have picked it up.
So beaver on a rug. Yeah, I like it. Beaver on a hooked rug. I'm telling you, those are worth thousands, hundreds for sure. So many non-PC thoughts come to mind.
I'm not going anywhere there.
My mind just went blank.
Just keep going.
Party out. The blender is a great Bolo. I can't remember the name, but there are slicers that you can basically push down on the chopped vegetables that I have sold several times, complete or parted out. Another fun show, guys. Randy.
Yeah, when I went to the thrift stores last week, I did look down the blender aisle, which I hadn't for a little bit. So it got me doing that again. So like that's the one good thing about the Bolo show too, right? Reminding us that we should be checking these parts of the store.
Well, I went to the local strip joint to see a beaver on a rug, which I haven't done for a long time. But
so there was another part of the store I hadn't checked either for a while. Can't remember where it was though. So I'm gonna go. I'll probably go again this Thursday.
You interrupted. You didn't take my comment, Carl.
What are you talking about? I don't hear anything.
Beaver on a rug.
Thank you, Randy. Did you finish this? Oh yeah. Okay.
I just want to know if Randy's talking about a fluffy rug. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry, Carl.
Working with a 5-year-old over here. Okay, Randy again. Hi guys, YouTube ate my comment again. I'm using the first commenter, so maybe that has an effect or a glitch in the matrix, Carl. Anyways, all that typing, laying out my heart and soul is gone. Sorry, Randy. So before the show, we went in and checked to see if any comments were being held, but there's nothing in the whole held area for the show. So, but it's definitely happening. It seems to be getting worse. It happens to our show, so I don't know what's going on. It's very annoying because we can't fix it. So who knows? Maybe using AI too much or something.
I just know the shag carpet beaver were very popular in the 70s. And
you're not listening to any of this. You're just like in your own head, in your own little world.
They're not as shaggy now as they were back in the 70s. All right. This is Carverman here. Let me just see here. Carverman 613 Sayage. I have not found any antique hooked rugs, but I will be looking for them. I had an uncle that I was very close to that made his own hooked rug patterns in the 60s and 70s and gave them to close family members. Unfortunately, we lost ours in a fire in 1973. Wish I had one of those back. I'm sure they were probably worth a small fortune right now because they're done by hand. There's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we had something around the house when I grew up. Yeah,
that would be basically like a folk art type thing.
Very 70s. Yeah,
but they're the older ones, the Victorian ones, can bring some really crazy monies too. So.
Well, remember that Turkish thing I had that hanging? It's kind of like that in a way.
The Turkish.
So I had this Turkish rug-like thing that used to hang on the outside of tents, 1930s.
Okay.
I found that at the thrift store.
Oh, that was more of yeah, I guess so.
It's kind
That
of
was
like
more
that.
of like a collection piece, though, right? Like it was more of like,
Yeah, they have buttons and shells on it.
and was it to ward off spirits or something?
Yeah, the evil eye
Yeah,
ward off. But it's kind of the same idea, right?
but all right. Well, that's all we got here. I hope nobody's got dropped for whatever reason. I don't know why it's doing that, but we did get 81 views on that episode.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Hit the subscriber button, everybody. Hit that subscriber button. Hit
Can
the
you?
like button. Push it out to
Yes,
more people.
yes. Well, we can. I keep saying I need to go in there and like change some things around, but I haven't bothered to do it. So you can
You
blame
haven't
me.
bothered doing it yet.
I know. I just like bitching about it, not actually doing the work.
Yeah.
I would have been good in management.
You're like a dictator, right? Do this. If I'd have the pyramids built by now, Carl.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So what are your plans for the week? Anything coming up?
Well, I'm gonna go find some shag carpets with the. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Can't say that too loud. Stuff's up there. What are you talking about? Yeah, what was I gonna say? No, I'm not gonna do too much this week. Just make some money.
That'd be nice.
List, sell, list, sell. No, honestly, I don't know. I got lots of stuff to do. I got so much to do. It's just never ending, which is fine. That's the way you want it. We'll see. We'll see. That's probably pretty much it. I really want to. I guess my goal for the week going forward is to be more consistent, and I've said this 1,000 times, so we'll see. More consistent.
You're consistent about saying that consistently.
Damn right I am. But yeah, I don't know. Go from there, see what happens. Probably get a haircut some point.
Yeah, mine's getting a little shaggy. One of my brother-in-law is starting to grow a freaking beaver tail. No, a rat tail.
A rat tail? Oh my god!
Like not a rat tail. Kind of like a professional mullet kind of thing.
Mullets, I think, are coming back.
Oh my god, I can't even believe it. Back. I didn't make fun of him though. I didn't feel like getting into it at that point. But if it grows bigger, I'm totally making fun of him.
We used to call it hockey hair.
Yeah, this is different though. I call this a professional mullet because you can't tell from the front it's a mullet, but when we see it from the back, it kind of has that kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a rat tail, but kind of like a thick rat tail. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's a country boy too.
Yeah, of course. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I didn't say there's anything wrong with that.
But no, what about you? Anything going on this week?
Well, continue fixing at the booth. I have enough to keep me busy there for a while.
Yeah.
Auction tonight, and I might go thrifting once. I'm pretty happy with the way the basement's looking. I can walk around without tripping over stuff.
Time to buy more.
Yeah, time to buy more. But there's no auctions coming up, so no live auctions or anything, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, and that's it. But no, I'm good. I'm happy. I got to like I say, I've listed all the easy stuff, and now I'm getting to the hard stuff. Like this, I have so many film cameras, like SLR cameras. I need to like just get down to it and just test them, right?
Yeah.
Like go through the whole rigmarole. And honestly, like now that I have that desk on Sundays, it's good because if I run out of stuff, I could always bring them in and just spend the day because I'm forced to work, right? It's not like when I'm at the market, I could just like go watch YouTube or play video games or have a nap, right?
Yeah.
It's like at least I have somewhere to say, okay, well, I have stuff here I can do just to keep myself entertained. Even if I'm not selling that stuff at the market, at least I can do something with my downtime.
Did Siraj come by this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he gave me a couple of cool things. Well, one was like a plastic. Like he said, they used to do when he used to play hockey. They didn't have a ton of money,
yeah.
So you couldn't just go buy a new hockey stick.
Yeah.
So what they used to do is they cut the bottom off the hockey stick,
Yeah.
and you get these plastic replacements.
Yeah.
So we had one of those.
Yeah. Those are for like road hockey and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I said, but he said no, they use them on ice. So,
Oh, did they?
But it felt like a floor hockey kind of thing to me.
Yeah,
so.
we used to use them because we played a lot of road hockey and stuff. So, your wooden stick would get chopped up pretty hard, right? Like because you're sliding it on that pavement on the road, which is a rough stone, and so we always found those were perfect for that, but because they didn't get chewed up as quickly.
And he also gave me this cool bottle opener on a stick from the 1950s, I think, 60s maybe, like the design on it. So I put them to the side for now, though. I didn't have time to research them this weekend, but
do they not sell that plastic end anymore?
I have no idea. I didn't look into it.
Wow,
but it was vintage, so it's kind of cool.
Huh? Yeah, I never thought. I mean, that was such a good. Like everybody around here, we had those, right? So I just thought they would keep selling them, but that's interesting.
Well, maybe they do.
I don't know. I haven't really looked for any of the hockey stuff in ages, so I don't even know what's there now, what's available, what you would buy. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know sometimes old hockey sticks, like the older ones from the 60s, 70s, if you find them, you can usually get $20-$30 out of them, probably more for some of them, but even if they're small, like kid stuff, and they're usually straight, there's no curve to them, people just put, like, I'll say Cooper or something on them, so people will hang those up, as wall hangers and stuff. They look old, they look vintage. They're usually, I find them, usually they're small, like they seem to be short.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to assume maybe that's kids. But I'm sure you could find anything. Titan, I should see what some of the hockey sticks go for. Like Titan used to be a Wayne Gretzky. I remember having that back in the 70s or 80s when we were kids. Yeah. So I should see what they go for now.
I never really see, or I don't notice hockey sticks at least around. Like, I know.
Yeah, like, I found, like, I think Louisville and stuff like that, but they're older. Like, I'm talking 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Probably 70s too. Titan just came to mind. It's a little different, but Cooper and Louisville and stuff, you'll see that. But I've always never had a problem selling them out of the booth. Never. I mean, I'm not going to get $100 for them, but you put $25 on them, you usually pick them up for less than $5 at a yard sale. So,
yeah, I don't deal with a ton. Like, I have some tennis rackets I threw in the booth because I got them for free. But yeah,
tennis is for uppity people, man.
I know they're only worth like $5 at most, I think, anyways. So
yeah, because they're gonna go buy the $700, $1,000 real one, like brand new one. I mean,
after you talked about those lacrosse sticks,
yeah,
someone at the market was walking down with a couple of them the next weekend. It was kind of funny.
Like to sell, or they bought them
to sell? Oh yeah, he bought off another vendor, and I think he was going to resell them.
Yeah,
he seemed pretty stoked. Anyways, they're the same as yours.
Yeah, they're awesome, dude. What was he selling them for? What he?
I didn't ask.
I'm just curious what they would get for what he thinks he can get out of that market. All right, buddy. That's about it.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Yeah, Randy's not going to like this one. It's too short. All right, so that's about it. Pretty nice short episode. Be easy to edit, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so I guess that's going to do it for today.
Yeah.
Have a good week, everyone. We're here every Friday on YouTube and Spotify. We're audio only. So that's about it.
If you have anything you want us to talk about, put it in the comments. We're always looking for topics too.
Sure. All right. Have a good week, everyone. Have a good week, Carl.
You too.
See everyone next week.
Bye, everyone.